Paganini Technique from the Beginning by method of Ruggiero Ricci. I was lucky enough to study with Ruggiero Ricci, and in this time he often talked about the research that he was doing on how Paganini actually played the violin. He studied paintings of Paganini, he studied fingerings of Paganini, and he studied the pieces which Paganini had composed. And from this he developed a method of left-hand violin technique, which he left for us in his two books, Left-Hand Violin Technique by Ruggiero Ricci and Ricci on Glissando, a shortcut to violin technique. I have adapted this method for it to be possible to start working on it more or less from the beginning. If you are able to play Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, then you can start working on this. This method is not meant as a substitute for regular violin technique, it is meant as an addition, and it is based on efficient practicing and developing the left hand and sound. The principles are left hand pizzicato, double stops and chords, and the point of these principles are to basically give your left hand no choice but to be in the correct position, to strengthen your left hand and fingers, to develop your intonation and your correction speed, and also to develop your bow technique and sound, because by being on two strings nearly all the time, you're stabilizing the bow and you are developing the accuracy of your right hand. I will be working through this method in order of complexities, starting each video with something you likely can already do if you have worked through the previous exercises. Very important is when you're working through the exercises not to move on until you have completely mastered the previous ones, because they lay the foundations for the ones which are coming. And depending on your level of violin playing, it can take you more or less long to work through them. It doesn't matter how long it takes, because by working through them you are improving your technique. So some of the things might seem very difficult at first because you've never done anything like that. And believe me, I remember when I first started studying with Ricci, I thought it was insanely difficult. It was unbelievable in some ways. But I've noticed that if you spend time on something which is difficult and you work at it properly, then when you've mastered it, so many other things will be so much easier for you that it is still extremely efficient to work on them. So I hope you'll enjoy them, and if you have any questions, let me know in the comments.